Eighth graders, welcome to today's screencast for, Tuesday, March 11th. And in this screencast, we're going to be making a spreadsheet and learning how to do two types of charts today, or graphs some people call them. We're going to learn how to do a column chart and a pie chart. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is create a new spreadsheet. And through the magic of screencast editing, I'm going to pause this, and when you come back, you'll see the spreadsheet really with all the data in minus the formulas. So hold that thought for a moment. Back. So this is how the spreadsheet kind of starts out. You can see the entries in each cell. So if you want to maybe pause the screencast, and I'm going to make this one bigger so you can probably open it, and it's a separate window and not have to go max screen. So should be able to pause it and then put in the numbers. But if you're not in second hour, you're going to have to kind of put your own numbers in for whatever class you're in. You know, if you're third hour, put third hour, fifth hour, fifth hour. And all I'm doing is I'm counting the number of boys and girls in each row in this class. We have 4 rows of chairs. And so you're going to take a minute now and put those numbers in, and then we'll get to the formula part after that. So the other thing I might want to do is rename this. I'll call this boys to girls with charts. So anyhow, you can pause and then do that. So now that you're back from entering the raw data, we would like the computer to calculate how many total students are in this row. And never type those, right? Get used to putting in formulas. This formula is straightforward. I really don't need a sum function. All I'm going to do is teach it to add cells B5 and C5. So if I just type in an equal sign and click on the cell that has the 5, and then key in my plus sign, and then click on the cell that has the C5, or if you want to type the whole thing, you can. There's our number. And then as you learned yesterday, you can fill this down, and bam, you got your total students per row. This calculation, I am going to use the sum function. Save me a little bit of time. We're still going to count the total number of boys in class, and then I'll fill it for the total number of girls and total number of students. So if I hit the drop down, this is the sum function. Remember sum, and we highlight our range, and when I press return, bam, there's my sum. So if I fill that over, if you're in second hour, the numbers are right there for you. But I do want you to use the formula technique so we get good at that. We never want to type in numbers when we can use calculations instead. And then let's take a few minutes and format it. I would like you to merge and center both the title and the subtitle. Take note, you can't do them at the same time. You've got to highlight A1 through D1, merge that top title, then merge the bottom subtitle, and then you can go back and increase your font size to 14 and bold, and then we want to center those over the top. So that's merged and centered. And then like you learned yesterday, you're going to want to take these column headings and right align them in their cells. And we could possibly take cells or columns B and C and make them a little bit smaller. They don't have to be quite that big. Okay, total students per row. Whether you have a double-decker label or not, it's up to you. You can widen this a little bit. Then you have a single row label. And I'm also going to boldface those column headings like we have been doing. So anyhow, there's our spreadsheet. And if you have to pause to go finish your spreadsheet, then do it, and we'll come back and teach you how to make the charts. And so we're back, and we're going to learn how to make, first of all, a column chart. And I've always told students, if you can picture your chart, you can make it, because it involves making sure you highlight the right numbers and having an idea. So if you can visualize this chart as I describe it, then hopefully you can have a chance to make it. Or better yet, maybe I will show you the end product, and then we'll teach you how to make it. That sounds like a better plan. So I'm going to pause this and then make the chart and show you what a screenshot looks like. Okay, and we're back, and I'm showing you a picture of the first chart, the column chart right now. That's what you're looking at. So that's what we'd like to try to create. Notice each column represents a number in the spreadsheet, right? We want to know how many boys and how many girls are in each row. So when I highlight in my spreadsheet, I got to make sure I understand what to highlight. So usually if you see a bar in a spreadsheet chart, that indicates you've got to highlight that cell. So for this selection, it becomes this region right here. And how you select it's important. You got to start in cell A4 and work down and across. or across and down. All right, it's kind of picky that way. Anyhow, to insert the chart, we're going to hit this little handy dandy shortcut tool called Insert Chart, and this takes us through a wizard. And there are 3 tabs right here: Start, Charts, Customize. And we want to go through each of these tabs one at a time. So this isn't the kind of chart I wanted. I wanted this, but I wanted to, as you saw in the picture, that is called a column chart. So you're going to have to choose column chart. There's 3 flavors. There's a stack, there's a histogram. We want to go with the first one, just a plain Jane column chart. And then we want to customize it so we can add our own titles, all right, and do some other little things that might make it a little bit more suited to what our class makeup is. So when you go to customize, we start from the top and work our way down. Chart title, right? It shouldn't be called chart title. This should be called, depending on what hour you're in, second hour, number of boys and girls per row. It's kind of wordy, but nonetheless, you'll see it up there. That's really what your chart is. You substitute whatever hour that you're in. The legend, that's off to the right side. That looks good. Notice you can rearrange it wherever you like. Where you put it's really up to you. You can change the background of the chart. Maybe you want like a light gray background for our chart. Okay, the things I don't see labels along the X and Y axis. X being down here, Y being up here. That's the part we're going to change. So for the horizontal axis, that's why we don't see a title there. And really, that we can put row, not rows, and I can change my font size a little bit. Maybe I want to go with 14, and I don't want italics. I want bold there instead. And you can change color. You can notice that on your own. You can also slant your data labels. Why don't we slant them so you can see what it looks like to slant your labels on the axis. And then for the y-axis, the boys, okay, looks like, well, actually, I don't need it. I know that I need a label right there. That's the number of students here. I'm not seeing an option where I can add it anyway. It says column boys, and really those are just your, that's what makes up your legend. So x-axis, left axis, I don't see a way to put a label out here for right now. So I think we might leave it as is and then insert it. And then, of course, when you insert it, to move it, you have to drag by the top part right here. And the relationship between the 2 charts, between the chart and the spreadsheet school, it's dynamic in that if I were to change the number of boys in row 1 to say there's 1 boy, as soon as I enter it, that column already changes in real time. So if I put it back to 5, I should be good. If you want to edit any of your chart, if you hit the drop down here, you can go to Advanced Edit. That kind of takes you back to where you were before. And then there are some click and point and click type edits you can make. So maybe you want the boys to be a different color. You can pick any color you want. I think I'll go green for boys, and then maybe pink for girls. You can choose whatever you want for your colors. That looks kind of pink, so does that one. So color coordination doesn't look real good for me. Maybe I change my mind and go blue. Okay, but really whatever you want is your choice. So that's chart basics. Okay, I'm also going to show you how to make a pie chart. So if you're looking at my screenshot of the pie chart, we'd like to just get a pie chart that tells us how many boys and how many girls there are in this class. All right, so that indicates to me we're going to be highlighting boys and girls. Here's the bad news. Okay, you cannot highlight boys, girls, and 14.9 only. Okay, the reason I don't want to highlight this is because I don't want to chart 5, 2, 4, 4, 3, 3, and so on. All I want to chart are the number of boys and girls there are, and then the total number of boys and girls, 14 and 9. Each of these will make up a piece of the pie. So when you get a stubborn case like this, Microsoft Excel lets you highlight like that. Google Docs, Spreadsheets does not. So instead, we just get smart. We make labels down here, boys, girls, and then I just physically type them. We have 14 boys in this class. We have 9 girls in this class. Your mileage may vary pending your hour. Anyhow, now when I highlight these and I go to insert my chart, I can choose a pie chart. And I kind of like the 3D charts. And then look what the machine does. It converts the label, the number, over to a percentage. So we have 60% boys and 39% girls, roughly. So we should customize it. Chart title. Okay, this is called ratio of boys to girls. Second hour. Again, fill in the correct data for your hour. And then your colors and stuff you can do. I'm going to run out of time on my screencast. I don't want to max out the screencast at over 15 minutes. So if I do go to insert it, okay, I wanted to see some things. All right, I can change my colors. Maybe you wanted a background color. I didn't do that in the other step. You can do it from here too. Background color, let's go gray again. Boys, I'll go with, actually that's girls. Let's go yellow, and we'll leave boys at blue. There are some things you can do with your fonts too, your font colors and stuff, to make them a little bit easier to read. If I hit the drop down and go back into advanced edit, okay, the legend is off to the right, foreground color, slice shows the percent. Notice you could also show the value if you wanted to, number of boys to girls. I like the percentage myself. And then the color. So that yellow slice I have doesn't look good with the color I chose. What if I go with black? That makes it show up a little bit better. And maybe even 14 points. So very easy to format these. So when I update it, now it looks nice. So I know I kind of rushed through it, but that's kind of a tricky one. So if you get this much done, that's great. More on charting maybe in a future lesson. So good job.